Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for joining me today. I'm coming to you in a little different venue today. This is my home yoga space that I have set up. Um, it just wasn't working for me to get into the studio this week to film a class for you. It's just been one of those weeks. But this kind of fits in nicely with my theme for this class, which is there's always a time and a place for yoga. So just like right now, you are finding your own space for your practice, finding what works for you. This is kind of what's working for me today. So I hope you're okay with that. Also, we always have a 1 hour class um, when we practice together, and that's ideal. But let's face it, we don't always have an hour. I don't always have an hour, but we need to know that we can have a safe and effective and beneficial practice, even if we only have 30 minutes. And so today we're going to mix it up a little bit. The venue's different, my space is different, and we're going to do about a 30 to 35-minute mixed flow here. Don't worry, we'll get everything in. So let's get started. So come to a place where you can kind of settle in. And regardless of the length of our class, we don't want to skip this part, this centering part. So coming to your back or seated, whatever feels good today. And let's start with some awareness. Let's start with that breath awareness. Just observing our breath, noticing the inhales and the exhales. Let's start to bring an awareness as well to our physical body, maybe how it's connecting with our breath. Noticing our belly rise, our rib cage expand, and our chest lift on our inhales, and then releasing all of that on our exhale. Maybe notice also how your body's feeling today. What is it that it needs from your practice? Listen to it. And finally, let's bring an awareness internally, turning our gaze inward and just kind of being observant with our thoughts, trying to compete for your attention right now. Just acknowledge them and then send them on their way. So let's settle in here for a couple more breaths, a couple more moments of connection and awareness. And slowly we'll open our eyes and get ready to find some movement. So let's start with our neck. So on an inhale, tipping our right ear toward our right shoulder. And an exhale, releasing the chin to our chest. Inhaling, moving our left ear toward our left shoulder. And exhaling, releasing our chin. Do that one more time each side. Inhaling, feeling that length, the opposite side of our neck, and then releasing our chin as we exhale. We'll all meet back at a neutral spine. And if you have a strap that you use for practice and it's handy, or maybe you use a necktie or the tie from a bathrobe, you don't need one. We're going to be doing some lengthening and some rounding and some side flexion. So you can do that with your interlaced fingers, or you can grab a strap if you have one and sit nice and tall to start. And then inhaling, lifting our arms up. And then exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, lifting up. And exhaling, tipping to one side. Inhaling at center and then exhaling on the other side. Let's do that one more time. Really feeling our length lifting up out of our body on our inhales. We can release and we can set that strap if you're using one off to the side. We won't need that again. Let's place our hands on our knees as we flow a seated cat-cow. So on an inhale, send our chest out long, lifting our chin. And exhaling, rounding into our seated cat. Inhaling into our cow. Exhaling, rounding into cat. Let's flow 2 more times. Moving with your breath, staying connected to that, matching your movement to your breath. And then we'll meet back at a neutral spine. We're going to swing our legs around behind us and come into all fours to practice kneeling cat-cow. So making sure shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. And then an inhale, we drop our belly, lift our hips and our chin in our cow. Exhaling, we round and we tuck. Maybe closing our eyes as we flow. Really turning our attention and our awareness to how this feels on our spine. Let's flow one more time. We'll all meet back in a neutral spine. And we're going to do some sideways movement of our spine. It's kind of like a sideways cat-cow. So we'll drop our belly, move our hips over to the left, and then round our back as we're coming back to center and over to the right, dropping our belly again. So just kind of making this sideways motion, kind of combined with the cat-cow or any kind of movement that feels good on your spine. Stopping at some point to reverse and go in the other direction. Noticing how this movement feels as we wake up our spine. And then we'll all meet back with a neutral spine as we prepare to flow with a little arm movement here. So fingers spread wide. On an inhale, left arm floats up. Exhale, we bring it back to the earth. Inhaling, right arm up. Exhale, we release. Moving with your breath. We'll do one more on each side. And when we finished our flow, we'll all find our way to child's for a breath or two. Inhaling to kneeling plank. Exhaling back to child's. Inhaling into plank. And exhaling into child's. Let's do that 2 more times. Continuing to find movement that matches our breath. And this time as we come forward into kneeling plank, we'll tuck our back toes and send our hips up to the sky into down dog. Let's just take a moment to feel our down dog, maybe pedaling out our feet or bending our knees. Letting your head hang heavy. And then slowly we begin the journey to the top of our mat to meet in forward fold. And once we're there, we'll bend our knees, sink our hips, and rise up. Inhale our arms up. We're going to take our right wrist with our left hand. We're going to step our right foot behind our left, squatting down. And a gentle bend to the left. We'll inhale up at center. Release. And then we'll do that on the other side. So inhaling, arms up. We'll take our right wrist with our left hand, stepping our left foot behind our right. Finding a gentle stretch in the other direction. And then we'll release. We're going to find some more movement here. So it's really important that even if you only have 30 minutes for a practice, that we really warm up our large muscles and joints before we move into strength and stamina. So we're going to do a little more warming up here. So we'll inhale, arms up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhaling back at center. Exhale, sinking into chair. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhaling at center. Exhaling, chair. Let's do that one more time each side. Moving with your own breath. Letting go of any expectation of matching your movements to mine, because all of our breaths are different. We'll all meet standing in mountain. And then we're going to find a wide stance. So you might want to step your right foot back and turn toward the long edge of your mat. Your toes are pointed out in an angle. Your heels are in. And we're going to flow with sunflowers. So we're going to inhale, arms up. And then exhale, hinging at the hips. Sweeping our fingertips toward our mat. Inhale, we rise. And exhale, we squat, scooping up our sunflowers. Continue moving, warming. We'll do 2 more flows. Moving with your breath. And when we are finished, we'll release our arms to our sides. We can heel toe our feet in. We're going to find a chest expansion here. So lifting and rolling our shoulders back, maybe holding that imaginary beach ball, or maybe we interlace our fingers, pressing our knuckles toward the earth as we lift our heart, lifting our chest. And we'll release. And if we're not already there, we'll come to the top of our mat as we prepare for some strength. So we're going to step our right foot back and we're going to be in high lunge. So in high lunge, all 10 toes are facing forward, but our back heel is off the mat. And we're going to be flowing with this. So first get yourself settled in and make sure you feel stable. And then we'll start to flow. So we're going to inhale, straightening that front leg, rising up. Exhaling, we sink. Rising up on an inhale, sinking and releasing on our exhale. One more time. And then we're going to frame our front foot with our hands and we'll lower that back knee to the ground. So in low lunge, that front knee is over our ankle, our back leg is out behind us. We're actually going to walk our fingertips back, coming into kneeling pyramid, just feeling that gentle stretch in our hamstrings here. And we'll walk our hands up to frame that foot. Our right hand can remain on the mat. It can find a block, but we're going to twist, opening up. Left arm floats up. And then we'll come back, bringing that hand down. We're going to take both hands and place them on the inside of our left foot, maybe walking that back leg out just a little bit and really feeling this hip open up and release toward the mat. Continuing to connect to your breath. And we'll frame our front foot. Let's bring that back knee in just a little bit. We're going to tuck our back toes and lift that back knee. We're going to walk ourselves around into a wide-legged fold. So in wide-legged fold, maybe your hands touch the mat, maybe they don't. Maybe you need a block, or maybe your hands are on your thighs. Wherever you are, just focus on that length in your spine, letting your head and your face relax. And then we'll walk our hands around to frame that front foot, turning all 10 toes forward. We'll step that back foot up to meet the front one in forward fold. And then we'll rise up and release. And we'll do that on the other side. So this time, left foot steps back in that high lunge. So take a moment, get yourself steady, stable, settling in. Make sure shoulders and chest are facing forward. Then we'll start to flow. So inhaling, rising up, straightening that front leg. Exhaling and releasing. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we sink. One more time. Then we'll frame that front foot, bringing our back knee down. Make sure we're in good alignment. So our right knee is over right ankle. That left leg is out long behind us as we feel that left hip opening and melting toward the mat. And then we'll slowly walk our fingertips back in kneeling pyramid. Our front toes pop up. We're feeling that length in our spine as we inhale and then exhale, maybe folding a bit deeper, maybe not. Then we'll walk those fingertips forward, maybe bringing that back knee in just a bit. The left hand remains on the mat or a block as our right arm floats up. Breathing deeply in our twists to get full benefit. And then as we release, we place both hands on the inside of our right foot this time, maybe walking that back knee back just a little bit. Again, feeling that opening in our hip, really feeling it, releasing. Continuing to connect to your breath. Frame our front foot. Bring that back knee in just a bit, tucking our toes, lifting that back knee, and coming back into that fold. And this time, maybe finding a little movement. Maybe bending our right knee, walking our hands toward our right foot, and then walking over to the other side as our left knee bends. We'll come back to center. Walk our hands to frame our front foot as all 10 toes face forward. And this time our right foot steps back to meet our left in down dog. And let's come into child's for a moment of rest. And we're going to bring our right foot up in between our hands. So we can do that from all fours by just sweeping that foot up. Or we can come into down dog. Inhaling right foot to the sky. And then lunging or helping it up to the front as we come up into warrior two. So in warrior two, our front toes face forward. Our back foot is at 90 degrees. Our right knee is tracking toward our right pinky toe. Our shoulders and our torso are facing the long edge as we extend arms out, reaching from fingertip to fingertip. Really being aware of our breath here, especially when we're holding poses. We never want to hold our breath. If we find ourselves doing that, That means we need to come out of the pose or take a modification. So inhale into reverse warrior. So left arm finds our left thigh, right arm close to the sky. Nice straight line from fingertips to shoulder. Remembering to breathe. We'll straighten that front leg. Warrior two arms. We're reaching forward, sliding our rib cage forward as we tip into triangle. Triangle that's right for our practice. Maybe really be aware of how one side is maybe very different from the other when we do this on the other side. Letting go of any expectation that that hand reaches the floor. That's not the goal. And then we'll cartwheel our arms to frame our front foot. We'll step that foot back to meet the other in down dog. And we'll do that on the other side. So you can come to all fours and sweep that front leg up, or that left leg up. Or we can inhale to the sky. And then step or help it up as we come up into warrior two on the other side. So again, take a second, making sure you are in good alignment. This time left knee is tracking toward left pinky toe. Then settle into your warrior two, really feeling your shoulders. Come away from your ears, gazing over your front fingers. Remember, just because we have maybe a shorter practice, we still need to be very aware of our alignment, matching movement to breath. Those things are all important regardless of the length of our class. We'll tip back into reverse warrior. Knowing if we need a break or if we find we're holding our breath, we can come out, maybe straighten that front leg for a breath or two and then sink back in. One more breath here. And then we'll straighten that front leg. Find those warrior two arms as we reach forward with our front fingers and tip into our triangle. Again, maybe taking a moment to notice how this side is a little different than the other. It's really noticeable for me today. One more breath. And then we'll frame our front foot, turning all 10 toes forward. Then this time our back foot will step up to meet our front as we hang in forward fold and maybe swing from side to side. And we'll inhale, rising up to a nice gentle back bend and release. Okay, we're going to get in a little balance here. So let's step our left foot out, really feeling it connect to the earth. Find your gazing point. And let's just start by lifting our right knee. And if we feel stable here, maybe crossing that right ankle over our left knee. Maybe this is where we stay. We can always sink into our chair. Standing balancing pigeon. Remembering to connect to breath. And slowly releasing that. We'll do that on the other side. So we'll step our right foot out this time. Really feeling all corners connecting to our mat. Let's find our gazing point. We'll start by just lifting that knee. And we can stay right here, or if we feel stable, crossing that ankle. Staying here, or option to sink into that chair. Always options. We'll slowly come out and just kind of shake that out. And we'll get ready to bring it down to the earth again. So let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Let's come down into all fours and then into kneeling plank as we slowly lower ourselves to the earth. Let's start with a nice overhead stretch. Really stretch it out here. And we'll draw our hands in under our shoulders, elbows in toward our body as we inhale into cobra. Exhale, lowering to the earth. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling in our cobra. Exhaling, turning to the earth. And then using the strength of our arms, we'll push ourselves up into all fours. And then sinking onto one hip, we'll come into seated. And we are going to actually spread our legs out to a distance that feels right for us. We want to keep that nice straight spine. We're going to place our left hand either on our left thigh or maybe our shin, maybe our ankle, as our right arm floats up. And we find that gentle stretch. Maybe our forearm finds the mat, maybe not. We want to make sure both hips are firmly connected to the mat. Slowly bring ourselves up, coming back to center for just a moment as we prepare to do that on the other side. So right hand finds where it needs to be as left arm floats up. And as we exhale, finding that gentle stretch, really feeling it along our left side body. So as we inhale, finding maybe a bit more extension. And then exhale, maybe we come a little bit deeper, maybe not. We're doing what feels right. Continuing to be aware of our breath. We'll slowly come up. Let's bring the soles of our feet together for butterfly. So if you have a block or a bolster or even a blanket or a pillow, sometimes it feels nice to elevate our hips here. It really helps to open them. So let your knees just fall open naturally. Settle in here for a few breaths. And we'll slowly bring our knees together. If you have a pillow or a blanket, you can take that out. We're going to slowly find our way down to our back. So let's come onto our back here. And let's just find a nice overhead stretch to start. And then exhale. Let's bring both knees into our chest. Let's just rock back and forth, really giving ourselves a nice massage. Maybe rocking from one elbow all the way to the other. Doing what feels good here. And then we'll send our left leg out long, keeping our right knee drawn into our chest. And then we'll gently guide it over to the right with our right hand, opening up our hips, making sure that both of our hips are connected to the mat, both shoulders. Breathing deeply as we open up our hips, releasing all of that tension, everything we no longer need. Slowly, we'll guide that knee back toward the center, and then our left And we'll guide it over to the other side. Right arm can be out long. Maybe we lift and replace our head so we can turn to look over that arm. You might need to just adjust your shoulders a little bit. My right shoulder wants to come off the mat here, but I want them both connected to the mat. We'll come back slowly to center, sending that right leg out long and drawing left knee into our chest this time. And slowly guiding it open to the left with our left hand. Again, making sure both hips stay on the mat, so that might determine how far over that knee comes. It's really more important that your hips stay connected here. Just really focus on that opening of our hips. They say we hold a lot of emotion in our hips, so anytime we open, it's really good for us. And then slowly, we'll bring that knee back to center, taking it with our right hand this time, guiding it across our body on the other side. Left arm can come out in a T again, maybe adjusting your shoulders to make sure they stay connected to the mat. Gaze can be over that left extended arm. And then slowly making our way back to center. Bringing both knees into our chest one more time. And then we'll place the soles of the feet on our mat for bridge pose. So heels are in close. We're walking our shoulders down. Our arms are in tight to our body, palms down. And as we inhale, we're lifting our hips, peeling our spine away from the earth. Maybe our shoulders walk in a bit more. Making sure our knees don't come together. We want that distance between them. We can always choose to do flowing bridge, or if you have a block and you want some support, you can place it under your hips. Otherwise, we'll stay here for a couple more breaths. And then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, coming back to the earth. And even though we have a shorter practice, let's try and get in an inversion pose if we can. They're so good for us, so I always try to fit those in. So I'm going to take legs up a wall. If you have a different inversion that you are working on and you want to go there, feel free. Otherwise, just settle in here. Bring back to some awareness of how your body's feeling now. Maybe your heart rate is slowing down a little bit. And you're starting to cool off a little bit. Couple more breaths here. You're welcome to stay here, or if there's anything else you need to complete your practice today, I invite you to go there now. Otherwise, if you're ready for Shavasana, do what you need to make yourself comfortable there. Maybe putting on socks and a sweater. And just starting, settle in, coming back to that awareness. The awareness of our breath. the awareness of our body, noticing how it feels, awareness of our thoughts, they're creeping in. Just observe them, acknowledge them, and send them on their way, making these last couple of moments yours. And as you're settling in, I'd like to share a reading with you, and it's from Cleo Waite, and she is by far one of my favorite authors. And if you ever want to get a good book, Heart Talk is the book. So she talks about how life experiences can change us and how we're not always in control of things, which is, I think, how a lot of us are feeling right now. She says, we cannot always control what happens to us, but we always have the power to leave any situation feeling stronger and wiser than we were before. There is an education waiting for all of us within all of our experiences. We just have to decide what we do with it. Choose to allow what you go through to fuel your growth rather than stunt it. Your life experiences are only as valuable as your ability to turn them into life lessons. So while we may not be in control of any given situation, we can choose to learn a lesson and to grow. Settle in here for a few more breaths. Ask yourself, what lesson does the universe have for you? Slowly start to bring an awareness back to our physical body. Maybe finding some slow, gentle movement in fingers and toes. Maybe moving our head gently from side to side. And if we're supine, rolling to one side or the other. And then slowly making your way up. We'll all meet seated at the top of our mat. As we conclude our practice together today, let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. The divine light in me honors and respects the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. I know this wasn't a typical practice, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope especially that you know that whatever amount of time you have getting on your mat is beneficial. So take the time, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. Be safe, be well. We miss you, and we hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.